There, goddammit. Jeez. What a nightmare. All I want to do is be famous for drawing on the internet. Get emotes named after me and stuff. But no. Get rid of this. Okay, now I'm going to draw. Now I get to draw. Now I get to draw. Mostly, all I'm doing is I'll be flatting this stuff out, which is why, you know, this lady is just going to be pink. I don't even know. I really don't know, you know, how exciting any of this is going to be. Flatting. So what flatting means is, from what I understand, comes from comics, but it's basically the blocks of color that go underneath the line work. So a lot of the stuff that I do digitally, I kind of think about it the way that I do with traditional processes like silkscreen, where there's just layers of color because it's a pretty good analog with there just being Photoshop layers. So what I'm going to do is like go through and make all of the flesh one color. I don't know, because this illustration is getting really complicated and I'm kind of I don't have a lot of patience. So what's happening is, as it goes on longer and longer, because of how complicated I made things, I get like more of an urge to just want to finish it. But I think that the way that I'm flatting is going to speed some things up, and I can be a little bit looser than I was with the pencils, and then maybe I can get through those feelings of wanting to just get it done instead of wanting to get it done well. And then later, these flats will make more sense. This brush, well, the name of the brush is Badass Brush Inker, so I feel like that really solves that question right there. I like this brush because it's got a little bit of texture to it. It's got a little bit of an angular shape to it, so I can get kind of thick and thin lines. And it's got badass in the name. And it's like a little bit messy. Some of the inking brushes are like really clean and precise, which is fine for a lot of people, but for me, it doesn't work super well because I'm not very clean and precise. I like to have that grit. Also, this thing that I'm doing now where I just filled that, I set a I did a Photoshop action to take a selection, expand it by 5 pixels, and fill it with the foreground color. So when I flat, all I actually have to do is do the outline and make like a contiguous outline. And then I can run that Photoshop action that's actually tied to just one of the buttons on my pen, and it fills it. But it kind of looks like Are you still seeing the stream? Because mine is frozen. Like I can't see myself. You're still seeing it? Okay. Twitch is so weird. So, and this pink color doesn't actually have anything to do with anything really. It's just like the default. It's just the default color that I use. It's kind of easy enough to look at, and I can see it through other things. So what I'll do is like go through these characters and do all the flatting, and then I can use those flat layers for a different process that I do later on. Oh yeah, I can turn my lo-fi anime hip-hop beats to work, study, listen, stream to back on. It's good that you're seeing it, because what I'm seeing on my end is like several minutes behind. I hope that's not the case for you. Cool. Can you hear the music at all? Should be a little bit louder now. Yes, I know there's a delay. It just like it had completely stopped for what I was seeing. So that delay is fine. I'm used to that. This is working a lot more like it was a couple weeks ago. And you can't see because I put my little circle webcam in front, but I just named that layer Barbarian Skin. This is just for funsies. Cap and Knots. I have been wanting to do more there's different types of illustration jobs. I've been doing a lot of editorial for a long time. That's kind of what a lot of my commercial work has been. And I haven't been getting it very much this year, and I haven't been trying for it, and I mean, it's been kind of a weird year anyway, but so I've kind of been making some new pieces to change my portfolio up a bit so that I can maybe get some publishing, like book work or something like that. Something that maybe has bigger budgets and longer turnarounds, and is something that lets me kind of explore some different interests, because this is all, you know, figural, like narrative illustration. It's hard too in editorial illustration because so much of it is like, it has to be done quickly. So it doesn't like need to be drawn well necessarily. Like it's just communicating a really basic idea, and that idea has to be communicated really quickly. So, you know, it's not always about like how well you can draw or narrative scenes or anything like that. It's often more about just really cliche ideas. It's why you see a lot of editorial illustration that's really great, but you know, out of context, it's kind of like, oh, well, what? Like, this is like no effort. Like, it seems like such a simple thing, and it is, but it's also only paying a couple $100. So hopefully, you know, hopefully I can change career track a little bit. Thanks, yeah. When I was working on this a couple weeks ago on Twitch, somebody asked me about it, and it was really just, I really like riding bikes. I mean, I like fantasy stuff, but I was kind of missing riding bikes with people. You know, there's a pandemic. It also became really convenient because, like, normally they'd probably have to be riding some big horse animal or something, and those are hard to draw. I didn't really feel like drawing them. Not that drawing bicycles is easy, but I used to be a bike mechanic, so it's, I think, easier for me because I know what all the pieces are and what they do and how they interact and everything. Playing some sort of trip hop version of Stand By Me. No, this is a brush from this guy Kyle Webster, who used to make and sell brush presets, and he became kind of like the industry standard for that. A lot of people used his brushes in the slightly older days of Photoshop, and then Adobe just hired him, so he makes all of the brushes for Photoshop now, and they're all free and they're all really nice. Or they're free, they're, you know, you get them with a Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. Stop lagging, I need to draw. This brush does have some control issues, though, which is part of why I like it, and also part of why I don't like it all the time. But eventually, as I move around the piece, I'll use different brushes, but this is probably what I'm going to use for all of the flatting, because it's working okay, and I want it to have the same feel. I really never use custom brushes. I went through a class at Icon a couple of years ago that was taught by Sid Weiler, who also makes brushes for Adobe. And she did a really good job, and I learned how to make brushes, and then I completely forgot. And you know, like, when I worked with traditional media, I wasn't making my own bristle brushes. It's hard. Yeah, you have to get horsehair, you have to get glue, you have to get wood, you have to know how to do it. It's too hard. All of the bike stuff is going to be fun because bikes have too many parts. So this stage is basically just like a coloring book. I don't think I'm going to do a unicycle. Well, no, I could do, like, unicycles for fantasy is actually a pretty interesting thing because it's like, you know, a regular bicycle is like a horse and a unicycle is like a Pegasus or something. So my initial reaction when you said that was to be like, no, absolutely not. But you know what? You might have a point. This part's always fun because if I was a PC user, there are programs like Lazy Nezumi that you can use to like really easily make straight lines and do all kinds of stuff in any direction. But I am a stupid Mac user, and I don't have access to that program. So I have to like rotate my canvas and hold shift to make straight lines. So I have to like keep making lines until I figure out the exact angle that I need. And then if I have to move the canvas again, I can't ever find that angle again. It's like nearly impossible. They could, yeah. You can use a two-handed weapon if you're on a unicycle. Although I can, I'm pretty good at riding a bike with no hands, so I think I could. John's not still in here, is he? There's a guy that sometimes watches my stream, and I met him playing bike polo in Indianapolis. So, you know, we know a thing or two about bike fighting. I think it can definitely be done, but it is much harder. Oh, yeah, John's your brother. Nice, yeah. Bike fighting. See that? Oh, I fucked it up. I changed the angle. Okay, it was fine. It was fine, everybody. So this is where stuff gets so complicated because I want things to overlap other things so that I don't have to be as precise with my flatting. But with something like this where it's gotten really complicated and there's, you know, it's like this person is straddling the bike and all this other stuff. It's just gets really complicated. I don't know how many times I said complicated, but it's really complicated. Yeah, I've held a lot of stuff while riding a bike. Planks of wood, for sure. Big tools. But I think the people in Europe are light years ahead of us. Stop. There you go. So yeah, here's the thing, like, I don't know if you can see the, so I'll wait a second and see if it shows up. Yeah, when you use the rotate canvas and you see that kind of compass come up, that's like the only indication that you have to draw a straight line with. Is that gonna work? What a fucking tangent. I don't want this many layers that I'm gonna have to have. No, I'm gonna have to do it. You just gotta do it the right way sometimes, you know? Definitely fighting my urge and my tendencies for instant gratification, which is most of my process. Also fighting my computer doing tiny little lags where it's like, it's fine, but it messed up my drawing, my line. If I have to get like a whole computer to stream, I'm gonna be very upset at whoever invented Twitch. So you can see all those tiny little micro adjustments that I had to make to try to figure out the line. So those capture devices, like that's how people stream like their Switch or whatever, right? Like you just plug in any HDMI device to it and stream it out. Nice. So I can finally live stream Animal Crossing. People want to see my island. It's fun. Like, it's really tempting, and I might end up doing it. Like, streaming is like such a goofy thing, but it's better than doom scrolling. To be underneath. Doom playthrough. I can't even play Doom anymore. I'm old and I get motion sickness. For doing process stuff, like, and people do, illustrators will do this where they stream themselves, or they just record themselves working, and then that, you know, that's like the process video. And it's like, I mean, I can do that, and it would probably work better, but then I'm just, I don't know. I like this a little bit better for now. I'm less interested in, like, I don't care as much if people are watching me play video games. I don't really play that many video games anyway. If I had a capture device, I would probably stream playing video games, though. Wait, I don't even know, like, those capture devices. I don't know if I could hook it up to my laptop. I only have 2 Thunderbolt ports. So I guess I'm just not really sure how that would work with my specific equipment. This is what happens after you've been a teacher for a while. You get like addicted to just talking at people. And at this point, it's really nice because I just like, I don't care what anybody particularly thinks of me. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll just get on the internet and talk at people. And if they don't like it, that's fine. I don't care. I don't care. And the more I say I don't care, the more you know that it's true. Yeah, so that would not work. I don't have those things. Once again, being a laptop Mac user has really messed me up. I think the problem with the Macs is just that, you know, they make those Thunderbolt ports or the USB-C ports just do everything. What's an emote? How do you use emotes? Do I have emotes? I have emotes. Excellent. Oh, that looks like Liam. Excellent. Please spam my chat with Critical Role emotes. Yeah, so I have a Thunderbolt to HDMI adapter. I have two basically USB-C little external hubs that have an HDMI and a couple of USB ports, regular USB ports. But then I'm all out. I'm like, that's to have two external monitors hooked up to my laptop. But I think, like, I asked this in the chat the other day and no one responded, but like, what does it cost for a decent PC to build a decent PC to do this kind of stuff? $500-600, $1,000, $3,000. Great Times tokens. $500. That's what I was thinking, and that's like tower, motherboard, hard drive, RAM, video card. I might need like a peripheral or two, but that's not a big deal. And as far as games go, like, usually I don't play super high-end games, and if I do, I have a PS4. I'll play them on that. So now I do stuff in After Effects sometimes. So that's the other thing, is like After Effects really taxes my laptop. Like I can do it, but it's not great. I'm not... Why would I make the bag green? Why do you want me to make the bag green? These aren't final colors, by the way. These are just placeholders for flatting. So what I'll do is... Let me show you. Jeez. Let me... There, it's green. You're a bully. Now this is just really hard for me to look at because it's not in like my thank you, art directors, I swear. It's not going to be green in the final. It could be green in the final. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I spoke out of anger. I should not have spoken out of anger. I think this is the most viewers I've ever had. 5 people. Who are the users in chat? Who's on here? Commander Root, Daniel Smiler, Daniels Miller, Daniel Smiler. Thank you for watching me draw barbarians on bikes. I don't know if you can see it, but here's my it's my mood board stuff. So when I get to actually coloring things, these are in here for, how do you subscribe? You subscribe after I become a Twitch affiliate, which I need like, I think I need like 50 followers, and I have to stream a certain number of hours in a month, and I have to do something else too, and then I can become a Twitch affiliate, and then people can subscribe to my channel, which would be cool. And then it's like a few hundred followers and some other stuff to become a Twitch partner. I don't really know what those things mean. It is hard work. But yeah, so this is... Like, I tend to use really limited color palettes, so I'm thinking that it's going to be something more like this. I kind of had these in here. Not that this is like a, you know, super expanded color palette or something, but it's more naturalistic and representational. And I probably won't do that because I tend to not do that But I do kind of like some of these colors in here, so we'll see. But yeah, this is how I... here are some color studies and value studies that I did a couple weeks ago. Got to have reference for tiny dragons or armor or clothes. Like I think I used this snake sweater here. Is this sort of like a rough idea? I think it's a little bit more apparent how I used reference for clothing items and stuff. Makes everything a little bit more believable. Makes it so you're not wasting your time drawing something wrong. I've spent a lot of money this winter, so it's something that'll have to be put on hold for a while, but it might happen. I just have a lot of limitations with this laptop, and it kind of drives me nuts sometimes. It didn't matter so much when I was moving around all the time, but you know, now that my laptop has become a desktop, it doesn't really work that great. The really positive effect of streaming is that I haven't doom scrolled Twitter in like 2 hours. This is great. Base coat for an entire figure as opposed to all the skin tones than the bikes. Oh, you mean like where I do this figure skin tones and then the other figure skin tones together and then I do the other stuff. it really, like, my process as far as that goes really changes from job to job and like how complicated the thing is. So easier stuff, I might do things differently and keep things on the same layer more often than I would for a bigger piece. This piece is really big though. I'm gonna open this up and it's not even gonna be that big. So it's 6x9 at 600 DPI. So it's 12 by 18 at print size, which is what I was like, I wanted to, you know, if this comes out good, then I would maybe make prints or something. So I needed it to be big enough for that, which is a little bit bigger than I usually work at. Because again, for editorial, it's like, well, it's just tiny stuff. So that's the other thing, other reason why I need a beefier computer is if I am doing bigger jobs, like I can do them. It's a lot easier when I'm not also streaming, but yeah, I need like a little bit more resources to handle some bigger files. I just really hate Windows. I don't want to deal with it. Oh. My cursor kind of freaks out sometimes because of the stream lag. So this would actually, I'll have to remember that. I really can't do any sort of important stuff while I'm streaming, at least with my current setup. So now I need a different brush. So I'm gonna do some of these cables and stuff that hang down. Or you know what? I'm not gonna do that. Those are gonna be final details. Final details. So that's going to come way later. But when I get to that point, I'll use a smaller and different brush. Maybe not that one. So yeah, still at this point, really all I'm doing is just trying to make the, I'm just making the values different. And kind of, like, sort of approximate, like this should be lighter than this or darker than that. But I can always change those later. I do a lot of changing later. So this really is acting more like a stencil than anything else. And I just use these sort of like pink and earth tone colors because they're kind of easy on my eyes and I don't have to think about it too much. Really, the fun part about drawing for me is not thinking. I do as little thinking as possible. I do all of that in the preparation stages and in planning and research, and then when it comes time to draw, I just get to sort of zone out and do this repetitive menial task, not think about anything, disappear a little bit. Sometimes after I draw for a really long time, I feel kind of drunk. It's weird. It's an odd feeling. My stylus is really starting to get worn down. I'll have to replace the tip soon. I wonder if I need some sort of like illustration channel hook, like a catchphrase that I yell out every once in a while, like watch out for the tangents, or poggers, something like that. That composition is poggers. See, those are too close to each other. This color and that other color, the color of the arm behind. Dude, I have no idea what poggers means. Somebody, what was it? Somebody was talking about it on some stream the other day, and they said that it meant, like, there were so many things that came up. It was like play of game that kind of just turned into a sort of, you know, shorthand for like good game or something like that. But yeah, I don't really know. Anytime somebody says something about pogs, I think about pogs. Like pogs. Like, remember Alf? He's back in pog form. don't think I want that there. It's just not going to go there yet. Can be used for anything. I don't think, you know, it's like, I think it's a bad sign for your lingo if you've got words that can just be used for anything. That's not what words do. Except for stuff like Excelsior. See, there's so much lore. It's like Star Wars or something. So yeah, once I have everything flatted and I have something that is just really, really bright green and stands out really well, then I can go in and kind of clean those things up. And what it does too is helps me not be too married to the line work that I drew, which can make it feel really stiff. But obviously I'm going to have to go in and clean a lot of stuff up. But that'll be later. I'm also going to have to get rid of this tangent. This is a tangent where two lines meet and appear to become one line. They're eye traps and you want to avoid them. So I'm going to fix it right now. And it's not hard, you just kind of drop that line down a little bit, you know. More cosines? No. No, I'm not here for the math jokes, sir. Another thing that's going to happen is some of these things look like really sloppy, and they are, but they will hopefully get kind of cleaned up later. Hopefully. Hopefully. So you always work general to specific. The other thing then is that I can group all of these layers and do that. And I kind of wonder a little bit, like, I wonder if it would be better we'll try it. So I'm going to try something different. This is another technique that I do sometimes where it's, you know, I flat the thing, but and I have to be kind of more careful, but I only flat it once. I just make everything one color. And I think that actually might be a better approach for this type of illustration than the one that I just spent an hour doing. Which is fine, I can still use that work. I am using a tablet. I am using this tablet. A Wacom something or other. I think this is the Wacom Draw or Sketch or something like that. I used to have, I still have it, a big Intuos tablet that I got when I was in college that cost $500 or $600, and because that's kind of what I was told. It was like, this is what you have to have, and you don't. This one, this tablet was like $60 on Amazon, and I've been using it for 3 or 4 years. I got it because it was small and portable, and it completely replaced my big one. They're totally fine. Like when I was in graduate school, I had access to, you know, a lab in our studio that had a bunch of 24-inch Cintiq monitor tablets, and that's like a thing that you hear all the time. It's just like, oh, this is, you know, it's industry specific or industry standard, you have to have this, blah blah blah, even, and for like animation especially. And I really think that that's not true. They're super expensive. So really what it does is it just makes a lot of people completely unable to feel like they can work in the field. And it's kind of always been the case that, you know, there's a lot of people that will say this equipment or that equipment is like the only thing that you can use, but really never been the case. Like, at least for illustration, it's always like, okay, this needs to get done, it needs to be editable, it needs to be on time, it needs to be good, all of that stuff. It needs to be formatted correctly, and however you can do that, great. If you can't do that with your equipment, then you need different equipment. But if you can, and that equipment is sticks and mud or color crayons or something, then whatever. Like, no one really seems to care on the art director side. Yeah, if I worked for a studio or a company that provided Cintiqs, I would use them. They're great. They're just really expensive. You know, and then you just find out that, like, after you spend all this money, your goal of being a famous Twitch streamer requires even more money, because then, like, you got to get a nicer computer. But you can't. So yeah, that's quite a bit of flatting, but I think the way that I flatted this over here is actually going to work a lot better for me and for what I'm doing. So what I can do is a couple different things. I can it is costly to chase fame. You gotta, you know, you gotta make a lot of enemies. You don't make a lot of friends. So now that I have this flat, I can select all of the pixels on that flat layer and basically use them as a selection. Like if I want this person's, you know, jacket to be pink, Who is it? Hi. How's it going? How are you doing? Pixelated Sync? Pixelated's Ink? Welcome. Oh, hey, Adam. Pixelated Sync. Pixelated's Ink. Whatever, man. I'm just drawn. I made a Twitch channel, so... And you're on it. You found it. That's what I figured happened. Or I truly have become Twitch famous. So yeah, that's a pretty quick way to flat stuff out. Quicker than the first way that I did. I'm on the trending page of Twitch. I don't know what that means. Are a lot of people on the trending page of Twitch? Yeah. Yeah, please get me demonetized somehow. That would be great. So the way the flats help me make the coat pink is by giving me kind of hard boundaries. So this keeps everything shape-based rather than like painting. Because if I wanted to paint, I don't need any of this. I just kind of go in and start laying down colors. When I've done painting-based stuff, it's all like, let's see, I can find something. 144 megs. This is going to take forever to bring back down off the cloud. So this is a study of a film still that I did from the movie Hereditary, and like there's a lot of layers, but not nearly as many as I'll have for the other stuff. So why I didn't make the coat pink initially. Because I'm just sort of cutting out those shapes. So it's like making a stencil almost. So rather than thinking, yeah, they're on fire. So with this, I am thinking of shape-based, but I'm thinking of, I'm trying to like pick the right color, and I'm trying to pick the right shape and the right value all at the same time. And with which is what I need to do when I'm painting, because I was trying to do this all kind of in as few layers as possible. And I think there's even, I made like a process GIF. Yeah. So whenever this loads, which is apparently never. There it is. So you can see it's like I do a line drawing and then I just start putting color down. And then it's just like carving out little bits of color here and there. But this is like on as few layers as possible. This is going to be on crap tons of layers. So I actually don't know what... well, here's a good example. So there's going to be... You can see in the... you can see in the sketch study that there's a bunch of shadow and stuff. So if I wanted to paint this in a traditional way, I would have to know exactly where that shadow falls and all of that stuff. And I don't really have reference for this stuff. So I'm kind of drawing this like combining it out of a bunch of different reference and also just my own like knowledge of anatomy and form and whatever. So with this, I can make this jacket, let's say it's this color, but let's say that there's like a streak of light or something coming over the top of it. So now since I have that, let's choose a different. So now since I have that flat, I can also use that flat stencil to put in my highlights and my midtones and all of that stuff and like all sorts of effects. So right now it seems kind of like an extraneous step, but later it's going to save me a bunch of time. So that can be on 2 different layers. Also, let's say that like color isn't right or something and I need to change it. I can do that really easily over here. I can also use layer the hell are these called? These things. The name has escaped me. Blend modes to get different effects that way. So it was really easy doing this because I have the photo, the screenshot from the film, and I'm really just copying everything that I'm seeing. Like none of this is mine. There are some things where it's stylized because of how I draw faces or whatever. But this isn't something that would go in my portfolio because 1, it's a really famous movie and everybody would know that I was a liar. And 2, it's just a lot different from the stuff that I normally do. So that's why I use these flats. It also means that I can move stuff around. So like if I need to move something over, I can do that, whereas I can't do that. If I do it in here, I have to like use the lasso tool and I don't even know. It's not gonna... Oh, that's why. So I move the lasso tool and move something around and then have to like paint over top of it the way that you would with like a real painting with real paint. But highlights and effects and stuff are going to be much later. But this is also a much more complicated figure because it's more interlocking with the bicycle and other things around than anything else is. I can also, with this flat, let's do it with the other one. So I'm going to make a selection that combines all of these flats and make like a master flat. You can't actually see it because of where my head is in the stream, but if you hold Command and hover over a certain part of the layer name, you can select all of the pixels in that layer. And then if you hold Shift and do it on another layer, it selects all of those pixels and adds it to it. So now I have all of the pixels selected, and I can just make one big flat. Except for apparently, oh, I missed one because I missed the weird green one. There it is. There we go. So now that I have this big master flat, if I change this to like multiply or something, then I can affect all of the colors underneath it in different ways. So, and what I actually want to, what I'm going to have to do at some point, because this will be kind of blue, I'll have to make all of those flats kind of blue, and I can either do that going through one by one, or I can do it in a couple of different ways. But so that's one of the other reasons why the why the flatting is useful and how it comes into handy later. I've done some just for my own, like messing around in After Effects, creating like riggable puppets. So yeah, a little bit. Not too often. It's been a long time, and now in After Effects I don't do that anymore. It's mostly just like motion graphics that I do for the YouTube channel. But yeah, I've done that before. I wish I had known about stuff like Rubber Hose and the other like rigging plugins, because the way that I did it was awful. Like just going through and manually, and it's just like my whole timeline is a mess. This person kind of looks like the Jolly Green Giant or something now. Oops. Complementary colors. Really, these figures are all like too big. I'm gonna have to... Stupid Photoshop. Thanks, man. It's the thing that I try to do a lot is to, I mean, I look at I do a lot of films, like film still studies, but I also try to, like, obviously not for this one, but I try to use like 16:9 ratios, or 4:3 or something a lot, because it helps with that. And I use like Dutch angles a lot, and so a lot of the compositions, and a lot of the people that I look at for composition inspiration are either filmmakers or photographers, or illustrators that have like a really cinematic feel to them. Oh, that was drawn all in the same layer, man. That's annoying. I do that all the time. Brush for that. Yeah. That's up there with like forgetting to save, or so when I'm doing all of this initial, like all of this kind of shape finding and stuff, I'm doing the same thing that I'm doing with the flats, and even when I designed the characters in the scene in the first place, is like trying to think about the shapes rather than the lines. Like how they're framing certain things, how they are drawing things to attention, guiding the eye around, all of that stuff. All of those compositional issues that we need to address. That. Thanks. Yeah, so hopefully as this stuff comes together, I can I can get everything. I want this like really kind of like, you know, like the sun setting and they're kind of like adventuring mood to it. The thing that I haven't decided how to do or how I want to do for this, because a lot of my work has a lot of kind of texture and like fuzzy and distress sort of stuff to it, which can be difficult if you're doing it with effects because it can get kind of corny and out of hand real quick. And then the lines too. So what I'll probably do is do like a big line layer and then go through and kind of recolor specific lines. That'll be way later though. Let's see, 10:30, 8, 9. I don't. When did I start? Is there a thing that tells you how long you've been streaming? Because an hour and 40 minutes. So yeah, I think. Yeah, see you. Good night. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I think I'm actually gonna wrap this up for tonight too. So thanks for watching and asking questions and stuff. That's always fun, and anything to keep me away from fucking Twitter. So what I do with these is I then download them and I upload them to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/helloyoungillustrators. And there's other content there that is based around like mostly professional practice stuff for the classes that I teach at Pennsylvania College of Art and Design. So tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, the plan is to be live drawing with Liz Polito. So that would be a thing that I'm doing. Okay. Thanks everybody. I appreciate it. Good night.